Welcome you all for the next session or the next video lecture on concrete technology. In the previous class, we studied that the chemical attacks on the concrete. In that, we studied the first one, that is the sulfate attack. So today's class will study the carbonation, chloride attack, and the corrosion. Carbonation of a concrete is a process by which the carbon dioxide from the air penetrates into the concrete and react with the calcium hydroxide to form a calcium carbonates. We have seen earlier that conversion of CaOH into a CaCO3 by the action of CO2 results in small shrinkage. So the carbonation is process of adding the carbon dioxide which is present in the atmosphere. Atmosphere, how it is in the form of pollutants. Okay, the carbon dioxide is one of the pollutant which is producing from the industries, motor vehicle, etc. So that carbon dioxide, when penetrates into the concrete, reacts with the calcium hydroxide present in the concrete and forms the CaCO3. Forms CaCO3. So this formation of CaCO3 is called as a carbonation, and this results a small shrinkage or small volume change. Now we shall see another aspect of carbonation. CO2 by itself is a non-reactive. In the presence of moisture, CO2 changes into dilute carbonic acid which attacks the concrete and also reduces the alkalinity of a concrete. When the moisture content is present, then the CO2 which is present in the atmosphere penetrates into concrete and form the carbonic acid. This carbonic acid is responsible for forming the calcium carbonate and reduces the alkalinity of a concrete and increases the acidity of the concrete. Air contains a CO2. The concentration of CO2 in rural air may be about 0.03% by volume. In a large cities, the content of may go up to 0.3%, exceptionally up to 1%. In tunnel, if not well ventilated, the intensity may be higher. The pH value of pore water in the hardened concrete is generally 12.5 and 13.5 depending upon the alkali content of a cement. The high alkalinity forms of thin passivating layer around the steel reinforcement and protect it from the action of oxygen and the water. As long as the steel is placed in highly alkaline condition, it is not going to corrode. Such a condition is known as a passivation. Okay, when you keep the steel in a alkaline condition, there is no formation of a corrosion. That process is called as a passivation. But when this carbon dioxide enters, there is a formation of carbonic acid, then the corrosion will occur. In actual practice, CO2 present in the atmosphere in a smaller or a greater concentration permeates into concrete and carbonates the concrete and reduces the alkalinity of a concrete. The pH value of pore water in the hardened cement paste, which was around 13, will be reduced about the 9. 13 is the highest alkaline content. Okay, we have one pH scale that is in between 0 to 14. Okay, 0 to 7 is called as alkaline and 7 to 14 is called as a 0 to 7 is called as acidity and 7 to 14 is called as a alkalinity of a water. So the 13 is it comes under 7 to 14, so that is highly alkaline, and reduced to 9 is the lighter acidic one. When all the CaOH has become carbonated, the pH value will be reduced up to 8.3. In such a low pH value, a protective layer gets destroyed and steel is exposed to the corrosion. The 13 pH is reduced to the 8.3. It is somewhat the acidic condition. Hence, the corrosion occurs. The carbonation of a concrete is one of the main reasons for corrosion of a reinforcement. Of course, oxygen and moisture are the other component required for corrosion embedded steel. So, how the rate of carbonation increases? The rate of carbonation is depending upon the following factors: the level of pore water or relative humidity. If you pour the more water, then the more the humidity or the moisture, then the CO2 will easily penetrate. Next, the grade of concrete, permeability of a concrete, whether the concrete is protected or not, depth of cover, and the time. These all are the factors which will influence the rate of carbonation. For example, depth of cover. If we provide a good cover for the concrete, then no CO2 will penetrate into the concrete. But if you are not providing the good cover, then the CO2 will penetrate and causes the carbonation. So hence the corrosion will occur, or the shrinkage of a concrete is going to occur. This is what about the carbonation. And how to measure this carbonation? What is the quantity of carbonation occurred in a concrete or the steel? That has to be understood. So a common and a simple method for establishing the extent of carbonation is to treat freshly broken surface of a concrete with a solution of phenolphthalein in a diluted alcohol. Phenolphthalein should be mixed with the alcohol. If it is unaffected by CO2, then the color turns to pink. If the concrete is carbonated, it will remain uncolored. It should be noted that pink color indicates enough CaOH2 is present, but it may have been carbonated to a lesser extent. The color pink will show the even up to pH value 9.5. If the color turns to pink color, then you can say that it is not carbonated. So the pink color area, we can say that it is not a carbonated one. Okay, this is what the carbonation. So the carbonation is like a corrosion. Okay, the reason is CO2. How can you measure? With the help of phenolphthalein solution diluted in a alcohol. And next we have another chemical reaction, that is chloride attack. So as you know, the chlorides, that is Cl minus. Chloride attack is one of the most important aspects for consideration when we deal with the durability of a concrete. Chloride attack is particularly important because it primarily uses a corrosion of reinforcement. Statistics have indicated that over 40% of failure structure is due to corrosion of a reinforcement. When I already discussed, due to the high alkalinity of a concrete protective oxide film, it is present on the surface of a steel reinforcement. The protective passively layer can lose due to the carbonation. This protective layer also can be lost due to the presence of chloride in the presence of water or the oxygen. Yeah, if you use the chloride containing a water for mixing, then this chloride will remove the cover which is formed on the surface, and it will penetrate this chloride into the concrete and forms the corrosion. In reality, the action of chloride in inducing a corrosion of reinforcement is more serious than any other reasons. One may recall that sulfate attack in the concrete, whereas the chloride attack in a steel reinforcement. So that is chloride attack. Okay, so the due to that chloride attack also, what happens, the corrosion will occur. So they say that the chloride attack is more severe than any other attacks. We'll see remaining Okay, so the chloride enters the concrete from the cement, water, aggregate, and sometimes from our admixtures. The present day admixtures are generally contain a negligible quantity of chloride, or what they call the chloride-free admixtures. Chloride can enter the concrete by diffusion from our environment, but Bureau of Indian Standard earlier specified the maximum chloride content in a cement as 0.05 0.5%, but it is now increased the allowable chloride content up to 0.1%. IS 456-2000 limits the chloride content in the concrete at the time of placing is shown in the table. Okay, so the for like chloride content, when you are placing in a different purpose, then the chloride content should be, what is that chloride content which is given in a tabular column. So this chloride content mainly will add to the concrete with the help with the water. So you should always test the water before adding the concrete, the water. So go through this table. And next, importantly, the corrosion. So as we know, the corrosion will occur because of this chloride and all these things. And next, corrosion of steel. How this corrosion of steel occurs? Corrosion of steel in a concrete is an electrochemical process. When there is a difference in electrical potential along the steel reinforcement in a concrete, the electrochemical cell is set up. In the steel, one part becomes an anode and another part becomes a cathode, connected by electrolyte in the form of pore water in the hardened cement paste. The positively charged ferrous ions Fe++ at the anode pass into the solution, while the negatively charged free electron E- pass through the steel into the cathode, where they are absorbed by the constituents of the electrolyte and combine with the water and oxygen to form a hydroxyl ions. They travel through the electrolyte combined with the ferrous ion to form a ferric hydroxide, which is converted into further rust. So whatever the Fe is there, when it is exposed to the atmosphere, Fe plus 2 minus it will occur. Then Fe plus OH minus gives us to FeOH2, that is ferrous hydroxide, and FeOH2 is unstable, which converts to H2O plus O2, and FeOH3, that is ferric oxide, is formed. That ferric oxide causes the rusting onto the concrete. So how to prevent this corrosion in the concrete? As you know, corrosion how to contain painting and some metallurgical method, corrosion inhibitors, coating to the reinforcement, cathodic protection, coating to the concrete, designing and detailing. So the metallurgical method means steel can be made more corrosion resistant by altering its structure through the metallurgical processes. Different methods such as rapid quenching of the hot bars by series of wet jets, or by keeping the hot steel bars for a short time in a water bath, and by such other process. Mechanical processes and metallurgical process, you can make the concrete, the ferrous manufacturing or iron manufacturing, the more corrosion resistance. And corrosion inhibitor. Corrosion can be prevented by the chemical method using the certain corrosion inhibitor chemicals such as nitrates, phosphates and benzonates, which are applied on the surface, which prevents the corrosion. And next is coating to the reinforcement. The object of coating steel bar is to provide the durable barrier to the aggressive materials such as chlorides. The coating should be robust to withstand the fabrication reinforcement cage and pouring of the concrete, and compaction by vibrating the needle. And de-rusting, phosphating, cement coating can be done. So by doing all these processes, we can prevent the concrete by corrosion. Okay, and you all know that the concrete corrosion can also be prevented by coating the steel surfaces with paints, okay, and concrete inhibitors. So like this, by doing that also we can prevent the corrosion of a concrete. So go through this corrosion of a concrete in detail. Okay, and next class we'll start with another topic of this.